Alright, so hey everyone, today's episode is just going to be question time with Tiffany. I have a series of questions and I'm just going to answer them. So here we go. Number 1, do you still get stage fright? And if so, how do you overcome it? The answer is yes, I do still get stage fright. I usually only get stage fright during the first performance and maybe a few thereafter because I'm still working out the kinks. And the best thing that I do for myself is just breathe and remember that I know what I'm doing and that I've worked on what I'm doing and I'm not going to fall face first on the ground. So the biggest fear that I have is not going to actually occur. So I just have to breathe and have confidence in that. And honestly, I just have to power through it. I have to just get through it. Usually after that first performance, it's just like, okay, now I know I can do it without falling on my face, even though of course I wasn't gonna fall on my face. I've rehearsed this thing. And after that, it's just pretty much smooth sailing. What are your biggest career milestones so far? That's almost a tongue twister. Biggest career milestones. See? Biggest career milestones. I would say after my education would be becoming a company member at the Dallas Theater Center. After that, I would say booking the national tour of The Lion King. After that, my first co-star role on a television show, which just so happened to be Atlanta opposite Donald Glover. And finally being on Broadway in the Broadway musical Waitress. Those are some of my biggest career milestones. Do you have a funny story about something that happened to you while you were on stage? Oh, do I? So, one of my first funny stories about something that happened to me on stage was I was at the Summer Repertory Theater in Santa Rosa, California, and I was playing Bernice in the piano lesson, and those of you who were with me in that performance know exactly what happened. It was at the very end, and it's getting really climactic, and Boy Willie's trying to take the piano out of the house, and I'm like, you're not gonna do that, and Lyman, his friend, is trying to help him out with the piano, and me, his sister, or Boy Willie's sister, is like, you're not doing that. And I think my line was, go on now, Lyman, I done told Boy Willie what to do. Well, I was just all up in it. This is like our 10th performance. I wasn't having stage fright or anything like that. It was just in the moment. And I just looked at Lyman and Boy Willie and I said, go on now, Lyman, I done blah, 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 do. And it was like silence on the stage. But me, I was just so my intention was there, everything was there. It's just that the words came out as gibberish. And everyone who was there talks about how they were just like, what just happened? And me, I'm just like continuing to push forward as if I done said the English words as they were meant to be said. And everyone just did their best not to laugh until the end of the show. And we got through it, but that was probably one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. And it just happened. What are you afraid of? I think my biggest fear is just not succeeding. I have goals in my life, things that I want for myself, and my fear is that I don't achieve those things. I also have faith that if I just keep trying and just stay the course no matter how hard it gets, no matter how frightening it gets, that I will. It may not come in the time that I want it to come in, but it always ends up coming around. So I just try to stay the course so that I don't have to realize any of my worst fears or what I'm afraid of, because it's going to happen as long as I keep trying. So yeah. Who is your biggest fan? That would definitely have to be my mom and my dad, my biggest fans. They have rallied behind me from the very beginning, even when they were very skeptical about my decision as a young child to be an actor. They had no idea what that meant. They are not artists themselves, although they have very artistic inclinations. They did academia, and my dad's a doctor, my mom's a retired teacher, so they didn't really know what that entailed or how to go about doing it. So when I told them that that was what I wanted to do, they were like, okay, all right. Eventually, especially once I started, I was really serious about my studies, and then when I started to book or get like my first job when I was working at Cedar Point amusement park for a summer, they were like, okay, she's really serious and there is a way for her to make money and make something out of this. So they're my biggest fans. They come to see my shows and they're just smiling from ear to ear, and they're two of the people that I want to make the most proud. So yeah, those are my biggest fans. Who in your field do you look up to? I look up to a lot of people. Angela Bassett, Viola Davis, Meryl Streep, Laura Linney, who I just got a chance to work with, and Jason Bateman, Donald Glover, Issa Rae, Jennifer Lewis. I look up to people who are craftsmen at craft, their art. They really take the work seriously. Most of them have studied in some way, shape, or form, and they take their work as if it were a class, and they look at their script, they decide what it is that they're doing, how they're going to get what they want, and you can just tell that they are students of the craft, and that is really important to me because that's how I was trained, and I really truly believe in the power of that. But these people aren't one-hit wonders. These people have longevity, and that's what I aspire to have. And also just remember, my mom is calling me. I think I have to do this up. Hold on. Hey, Mom.